from showing our curves off. We emphasize the hips and the butt. We minimize the waist. We create celebratory details. We create a celebratory experience. We understand the cultural differences that happen in the Black community versus any other community. But by centering Black women, we're able to cater to everyone else. When you're able to solve a Black woman's problems, you can solve the world's problems. And it was kind of easy for us to do.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dream Leapers. I'm your host, Harriette Cole, and today we get to talk about a really fun topic, something that I've been talking and writing about for more than 30 years. It's bridal. You know, many of you know that I've been involved in fashion for much of my career, started out immersed in fashion. And today we're looking at fashion from that twist, from the twist of bridal. My very first book was Jumping the Broom, the African American Wedding Planner. We are making a new version of it as we speak. And I met our guest as we were doing research for this book. She is Andrea Pitter. She is the groundbreaking designer and entrepreneur behind Pantora Bridal, a brand that is rewriting the rules of wedding fashion by celebrating every body, every skin tone, and every love story. Andrea launched Pantora Bridal in 2009 with a mission: to create gowns and experiences where brides, especially women of color and full-figured women, feel seen, centered, and, well, absolutely stunning. From her signature forgotten skin tones, the linings that match deeper complexions, to her confident, fashion-forward silhouettes, Andrea's work has filled a long overdue space in the industry. Her innovation and leadership earned international recognition when she won season 2 of Amazon Prime Video's Making the Cut, bringing Pantora to a global audience and expanding her vision for what inclusion in luxury bridal can look like. Her designs have also been featured in Vogue, Essence, Brides, and The Knot, and her brand continues to be a beacon for brides seeking both authenticity and couture-level craftsmanship. Join me as I speak with Andrea about her creative journey, the challenges and triumphs of building a brand that disrupts conventions, and how she continues to empower brides to take up space beautifully and confidently. Please join me in welcoming Andrea Pitter. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. And thank you so much for joining. You know, we just had Bridal Fashion Week, Luxury Bridal Fashion Week, and I was going around seeing all of the wonderful offerings that bridal designers are making today. And I have to tell you something. When I first started paying attention to the bridal industry, like I said, it's more than 30 years ago, there was no Bridal Fashion Week. Well, you know what happened back then? The traditional designers would have one dress. They would make the last dress in a fashion show was always a bridal dress. And they would have this bridal dress come down, and whatever that designer style was, there would be some interpretation of that style in a white dress. And now it's a whole industry. So you have joined an industry that's really doing quite well. How did you get involved?
Oh, I loved complex clothing. That's how I first started. I just really wanted to take things apart, put them back together. The more complicated, the better. And then I realized I love being a part of people's love story. And then I realized that what I really love is Black women. I love their shapes. I love our personalities. I love how vibrant we are. And I wanted to create a brand that kind of told that story.
So that's a whole lot of great things that don't usually happen all together. That, first of all, the love of a Black woman's shape for bridal, those two just often aren't said in the same sentence, because for people who know about bridal, when a big challenge, and not just for Black women, but for any woman with curves, to go into a bridal salon, it would be very difficult. It'd be like paper dolls. You'd have to hold up the dress to your body, but you couldn't actually try it on because it was in a very small size.
Yeah, or we
And
would
so,
be encouraged to wear something that didn't fit or hug our curves, and that's no fun.
no. And so you, with your eye for and love of a Black woman's curves, what how did that translate into the dresses that you were making, like, from the beginning?
I didn't shy away from showing our curves off. We emphasize the hips and the butt. We minimize the waist. We create celebratory details. We create a celebratory experience. We understand the cultural differences that happen in the Black community versus any other community. But by centering Black women, we're able to cater to everyone else. When you're able to solve a Black woman's problems, you can solve the world's problems. And it was kind of easy for us to do.
And so how did you get started as a designer? What was that first thing that happened that said, this is what I should be doing?
Uh, ooh, I decided I wanted to be a fashion designer when I was maybe 12 years old. I
I
knew that
love that.
that was going to be my path. I would be a fashion designer. And I come from a Jamaican household, and my parents migrated here in the 80s, and they wanted me to become a doctor, lawyer, nurse, anything but a fashion designer. There was no proof of success in the fashion world to them. They didn't know anyone, didn't have any proximity to the fashion industry. And so, when your parents risk everything and they come to a country that is unfamiliar to their own, they want you to be successful.
Sure. And so you had this vision, and I mean, I remember when I was 12, I was interested in writing and fashion, and I used to write poetry and hide it in a shoebox in my closet, and I would draw fashion, and let me tell you something, I was not good at drawing. So it became being a model when I was young more than, the designing part of fashion. But what I remember to what you're saying is that was so clear at 12. These were my areas of interest. And for people who are clear, not everyone is that young, but when you're clear, you are driven. So here you are with these Jamaican parents saying, girl, you've got to do something safe and strong and steady to make sure you're going to be okay. How did you push back?
Oh, so that's a story to be told. So when I was about 13 or 14 years old, there was a high school I wanted to get into. It's called the High School of Fashion Industries. And my parents wanted me to go to one of the specialized high schools. In New York City, we have like Brooklyn Tech, LaGuardia, I think, Stuyvesant. Yeah. So there was a couple schools that my mom really wanted me to go to. My sister had gone to Brooklyn Tech, and I had to basically do whatever she did. And
I had to also.
It was really important that when they saw proof in the pudding, and my sister was just an amazing, amazing role model, that you follow those footsteps because they're somewhat proven. And I went in to take the test, and I was also I was a pretty decent student, and I went to take the test for those specialized high schools, and halfway through I realized I was going to get in. And I was like, I do not want to go. I do not want to go. So I failed the test on purpose. I charlied out. And funny enough, I still got into some of the schools. But
smart.
I charlied out the rest of the test because it was really, really important that that I did not go. And I remember I got home that day and my mom said, "Well, how did you do?" I said, "I did my best." And what I meant by that was I did my best to not do what I do not want to do.
But to say I did my best, see, she couldn't argue with that.
She couldn't argue with that.
She always wanted you to do, right?
Right.
Wow. And so you navigating parents, because all they want is the best for you.
Absolutely.
But navigating parents can be tough when you want to do something different. So, okay, so you're still in the push-pull. Where did you end up going to high school?
I went to the High School of Fashion Industries.
You went where you wanted to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. My parents gave in at that point. They were just like, listen, just she's stubborn. And so I went there and I graduated with honors. I ended up going to the Fashion Institute of Technology for college, and I specialized in sportswear. I worked in the industry very shortly before opening my first showroom in 2013. And we just celebrated 12 years.
Congratulations. So that school is very highly regarded. I go there every year where they have a mentoring thing where they have people come in they have a day and
Yes,
professionals come to talk to the students. They have a very strong board that works to bring professionals to the school. I
I
have
love
a
the
lot of
board.
respect for the school. Yeah. And so you went there and to FIT, another great school. I teach at FIT right now, so I know they've got a lot of great people there looking to make sure that the students who go there succeed.
Right.
So when you were at these schools, were there any professors or experiences that stand out that helped you to be on your launch pad?
Oh, absolutely. I think my high school education was very different than college. High school, the teachers, you have to be there because your parents said to. In
Right.
college, you have to be there because you want to.
Yes.
And there's a big difference there. And I think that teachers generally go the extra mile when there's a student who's willing to go the extra mile too. And my teachers knew that about me. They wanted me to win because I wanted to win so badly. Like I wanted to do well so badly. I spent my lunch hour with them. I spent after school with them. They ended up sending me to internships, letting me teach classes. I have one teacher who I'm still very, very close with, and she had me do her lectures every now and then. She was like, "You know how to do it. Teach the class."
Well,
Every bit of it helped.
so I love that because you knew you wanted to go there. You chose that school. You made sure you got into that school and learned all you could. What garment stands out for you that you remember that you made that was pivotal for you when you were in high school?
So in junior year, I participated in the senior fashion show. They do not
Oh, in
allow,
junior year. Okay.
yes, they don't allow juniors to participate in that fashion show. And I had not one but two garments in the senior fashion show. And I remember I was ruffle obsessed. Everything had ruffles on it. Every single thing I could design had ruffles on it. And I remember it was a teal full length ball gown with a bolero, a sequin baby doll bodice, and just complete with bias ruffles down to the floor.
And how was it received?
I loved it. I think I ended up in Cosmopolitan magazine.
Wow. So this was really affirming for you from a young age that this wasn't just a dream in your head, but something that could actually work.
Right. And I've been laser focused ever since. I have a laser focused personality. I'm borderline obsessed with things once I decide that I love it. And fashion has been the thing that I've always wanted to do. Every single job that I've had has been fashion, where a lot of friends worked retail. I didn't. I never worked a retail job. I never worked a fast food job. I always had a fashion job in the pocket.
Well, like what? What kinds of jobs exactly?
I had an internship at a bridal company called Birnbaum and Bullock. I believe they separated, so now there's Birnbaum and then there's Bullock. I worked
You had a bridal internship early on.
Yes, and my senior year, just junior or senior year, I had an internship there.
In college.
In high school.
In high school, okay.
Right. And I also had an internship at Donna and Rico. I had a internship at Tracy Reese. I had a fashion teaching job, several. I taught at the Madeira School in the summer. I taught students fashion design.
What's the Madeira School?
It's a school where all of like the senators and governors send their children. Yeah.
Wow,
It's a
okay.
boarding school in Virginia, right near the Potomac. And yeah, so I only ever taught fashion. I only ever worked a fashion related job.
And so bridal early on, was your exposure in high school? Is that what gave you even an entryway into that industry?
No,
Because it's very specific.
I think it really was. I wanted to be in complicated garments because I love problem solving. Problem solving is my jam. In all capacities, I'm a problem solver. I'm very decisive. I like to see how things work together. I like to see that we can turn something that was very, very difficult into a simple way of thinking. And that's what bridal really was. It was like, how can I make this thing that is generally a challenge less challenging? So even when it comes to our forgotten skin tones, it was just like, well, I love challenges. And so, when I created FST Forgotten Skin Tones, at the time, everyone was dyeing the mesh to match the skin. And that was when it was fairly new, because
when was this?
This was in 2015.
Okay.
So
So just for context, Actually, before we go there, let me remind folks, this is Dream Leapers with Harriette Cole. We're getting into it, so I'm not even remembering to let you know where we are. We're talking to Andrea, and she is the creator of Pantora Bridal, which has just blown up, and so many people are interested. And it's a bridal company that really focuses on women of color, brides of color. And we just love that you have made that as your focal point. So now you're talking about the hues. What is your brand called in that space?
So we call it Forgotten Skin Tones, FST for short. It's lining and illusion mesh that complement and match different skin types. And the goal is for us to make sure that it's readily available for a bride. So they feel like they were considered before ever walking into our showroom. Like they understand that, like, when you come here, this is the expectation. It's not, we're not creating something special because you are special enough to have already created it. And so when you walk in, you're not being greeted with a universal nude that didn't include us in the first place. It's really meant so that you can explore different ranges in those illusion linings and meshes that work for
And
you.
how many tones are included in this collection?
Right now we have 6 and we're adding about 4 more.
Well, and I love that when you think about it, this is what people were searching for forever in makeup. You know, that if you look for makeup, is there a color that's going to come even close to your skin tone if you are a person of color? And over time, and I'm going to say probably around when you made your hues, there was an explosion in the makeup, in the beauty industry. Like, it is time. It is
Right.
past time. And we really need to acknowledge that we come in all different shades and all shades should be acknowledged. So it was an awakening, I think, in the beauty industry at the time when you did this. So good for you. And so how did brides respond?
They loved it because what their experience was in other boutiques or other brands is that the mesh would be this universal nude that's not so universal. It would be ashy. It wouldn't complement them. They would want to swap it out, but swapping it out with what? Because it didn't exist. And even if they were able to swap out the mesh, they couldn't necessarily swap out the lining, or it became a very expensive thing to do. So
Right.
imagine buying a wedding dress for $4,000 or $5,000 and then realizing that you have to deconstruct it if you want the lining to match. You have to deconstruct it completely. And like I said, I wanted it to feel like you were already considered. And so therefore, when you order your dress, you can choose your FST lining. So it happens pre-production.
That's fantastic. So you have 6 tones now, moving to 10. And what are the different fabrications that you find it in? Because you mentioned the mesh as well as the lining. Yeah.
It's dyed. We dye every single thing, and we dye it in bulk so that we already have it available for our production. And we have it in crepe, we have it in satin, we have it in stretch jersey, we have it in the illusion mesh, of course, in Mikado, whatever we need it, and we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll dye it.
And do you do this on location, or is
No, we
this
don't
done?
dye it on location. We dye fabric with our fabric partners. Yeah.
And is this done in the United States?
No.
Okay. So yours is an international business in terms of the different elements that go into making the dresses.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Because, I think people are paying even closer attention to this global economy that we live in now because of tariffs, and because, people are realizing, there's a push to change how the economy works. But in fact, many, if not most, businesses are working with global partners. How long has that been true for you, and how does it work?
It's been true probably for a couple of years. We have beaters all around the world. We have fabric that's coming from all around the world. We're producing in-house or around the world. So we work with very skilled artisans. We recognize who is really great at doing their job, and we partner with the best.
How do you find them?
Oh, that's fun. That's a labor of love, whether it requires me traveling, interviewing around the world, visiting. Sometimes they come to us, sometimes we go to them, and we figure out who and what is the best.
So are you going to fabric markets? Like, take us inside of what it means to uh, dream up the wedding dress and then execute it.
So sometimes I'm inspired by fabric. Sometimes I'm inspired by people. Sometimes I'm designing my fabric. So it really depends on what process or avenue I'm taking to get to the end result. Sometimes I'll have one of my fabric suppliers show me a beautiful pattern, and I'm just like, this portion of it, this motif is beautiful. I want to play with it, and I'll take the time to redraw this pattern, and I'll send it out to our beaters, and they'll send it back, and I'll make changes. And so it's just a very big process. It's a big labor of love. I think that like we have it somewhat down to a science now, and so like it could be the fabric, it could be the construction. Sometimes we're testing out different construction methods, different core sets. Yeah, there's just the process is endless.
And so who makes up your team? How many people are part of the design team for your company?
I'm the head designer. I'm the only designer, but our stylists play a big part in the design, because ultimately the dresses can't get sold unless we have a really great sales team. And the sales team dictates what gets sold. They dictate what gets pulled. If they don't like the dresses don't get sold.
So there's a lot of interface between you and them.
Right. So we have meetings multiple times a year. Sometimes they'll go, what would make this dress better? Or, every time I put a bride in this dress, this is her request. Or, these are the changes she'd like. And we can take a dress that didn't sell so well and turn it into a dress that's really amazing for us if we listen. And we'll sit in the meeting with our business manager and with our operations manager, and we'll have conversations with the stylist, and they'll go, the brides are really into pearls this year. So whether it's trending or not, what the stylists want is the biggest trend that we could follow. So
what would you say are some of the key trends now in bridal?
Right now, corsets, exposed corsets, lots of pearls, lots of draping, basque waist, ball gowns, all of those things are very much in right now. Mm-hmm. Structured romance, I think, is okay. Really it.
Yeah. And what about color? What color do you, because I noticed, of course, there were a lot of white dresses, but there were also different tones of blush and, yes, some pinks, but also something that was more like coffee colored blush. So I'm curious, what is in your collection?
I have to tell you, I don't think colored dresses trend. I think people wear them. But this is the thing that I really think. I think what's special and unique, and what I appreciate about brides, or what I encourage, is that a bride is supposed to be an elevated version of herself on her wedding day. I don't think that she's supposed to necessarily be a carbon copy of anyone else. I don't think she should wear a white dress if she does not want to. And so while I don't think color dresses are ever trending, we do them, and we do them often enough. We have brides who wear red, brides who wear pink, brides who wear blue and black. So, while we do it, it's not something that trends. I'm not ever going to let the fashion industry convince me, unless, because a trend is meaning that an overwhelming majority or a lot of people are hopping on that. A lot of people are not hopping on colors. It's not happening. It's not happening. You see it every now and then, but that is not the majority or even half of them. But I do think, we see the colors, we see florals happening more in bridal. But as far as them being a trend, you'll never hear me say it.
And what about, you mentioned beading. I've also seen a lot of, when you say florals, like literal floral appliques on dresses, and a lot of texture. What are you inspired to put on your dresses that might have that kind of layering happening?
Oh, I love three-dimensional elements. I'm inspired by fabric. My aesthetic has always been classic silhouettes and modern textiles. So I literally love fabric. I just throw me into a fabric store. When I was about 13 or 14, I would take my allowance money and go straight to the garment district every single day. All I could afford was lining, but you could find me in the garment district. I love anything that I can feel. Brides are very specific though. And so I think it's really important to not just design the dresses that you love, but also design the dresses that the brides love too, and find like a middle ground, because you have to maintain a business, of course. But I love texture. I love beading. I love fringe. I love things that sparkle. I'm really a girly girl at the end of the day. I love some jazz, some pop and circumstance. I love all things pretty. But yeah, lots of really large motifs, large scaled flowers, large beaded flowers, things that feel like they're protruding, lots of structural elements, like all of those things are really fun. And whether I design them or not, they're really fun to look at.
And how often are your brides today having more than one dress for the wedding?
Oh, majority of our brides wear 2 dresses.
So describe that. What are the two dresses often?
So one, because they need to have a good time. I'm a big proponent of switching out your dress. I wore 3 dresses to my wedding. I was gonna wear more, but my wedding planner threatened me. But I think that there's different parts of the wedding, and you know, you're gonna have a somewhat different behavior during each part of the wedding. And so like my ceremony was really it was really romantic, and it was a moment where everyone got to be still and kind of just look at us. And so I wanted to feel worthy of being looked at. I wanted to feel and look like art. And it didn't matter if the dress was cumbersome because I was standing still. And I had a 16-foot train, 200 yards of silk on my wedding dress. And so it's beautiful.
It weighed more than you.
I'm almost sure it did. It's a beautiful gown. And you know, I didn't worry about being restricted, because I wanted to be pretty. So I did that. And I think a lot of brides probably think that way too. Like, you know, every bride's main goal is not comfort. Mine certainly is not. Like, comfort is
beauty.
Not high. Yeah, beauty is really high on my list of priorities. Being comfortable is kind of like, if you want to be comfortable, wear sweatpants. So
what was your second dress?
Oh, my second dress was a lace. It was a lace gown with FST elements throughout it. I'm trying to remember. It had a high neckline, floating buttons down the back. I could dance, I could move. There wasn't a long train on it. It was really pretty and sexy.
Was that your reception dress?
That was my reception dress. And then I had an exit dress that was fully beaded, very glam, beaded cape, fit and flare, just complete sparkle. Yeah.
And so your brides today, you say they at least have 2.
Yeah.
And I've seen that, at least in some instances, there's a trend where maybe it's the big ball gown, but then there's a mini dress. Or are you seeing what are you seeing as the trend now?
I think mini dresses are coming in, but I think that they're going to be a little slower for our brides. I think that they still want their glam moment after they change. So like maybe a ball gown or a really long and dramatic mermaid dress, but then they're going to change it to something that's a little bit more flexible, but definitely still high glam. Our brides love the sparkle.
And when is the change happening? Because some couples have told me after the formalities, you know, if they do the wedding cake and the first dance, that they often keep on the dress from the ceremony and change after. What are you finding for your brides?
I think that they should wear their dress up until after the first dance or the cake cutting. So what I did was I moved my cake cutting up very early into my ceremony so that I could have pictures in my wedding dress. And then I changed and I partied in my lace sexy number. And then I changed at the end to say goodbye to everyone in my flashy.
And how many shoe changes did you have?
I think I just had two shoe changes.
Okay.
Yeah. One a little bit more comfy, but definitely not sneakers.
You were not going for the sneakers. You know, there's some stylists who secretly have brides put on those platform sneakers because they say you don't see them until it's time for the photos.
See, for me, it's not the height. The height is not the thing. For me, it's the front of the shoe. I'm not a sneaker girl, but I'm not opposed it for anyone else. Like I said, I really think that people should do what they want to do. First and foremost, do what you want to do. Please yourself first. For me, I'm not changing into sneakers. Yeah.
I hear you. Hey guys, this is Dream Leapers with Harriette Cole. We are having a delightful conversation with Andrea Pitter of Pantora Bridal. She is doing it and she's doing it for us, which I just love. I love that she has the forgotten skin tones, linings, and that go into the dresses so that you can have your skin tone reflected in your dress. It's really fantastic. So what is the process for a bride? Because you have your dream, you're going to get married, this is so exciting, but you need time to make to make sure that this dream that you have with the Pantora design dress gets made in a timely manner. What's the schedule that you normally recommend?
Oh, we suggest 9 to 14 months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Brides don't recognize that it takes time to make a wedding dress, but not just that. I think, you know what? People should not have to be an expert in something that they're hopefully only doing one time. And so a lot of people think brides are supposed to come in knowing everything, and that's not the expectation for me. I don't expect you to know anything. Our job is to be as informative as possible.
Right.
And to fill in the gaps in what you don't know, or change your expectation based on what you think is supposed to happen. So I suggest 9 to 14 months in advance, 14 months for people who are really, really indecisive, 9 months for people who are a little bit more decisive. I don't think that you should shop a bunch of stores, because then you get fatigued and you end up buying the last thing you tried on just simply because you're tired. I think so 9 to 14 months is a really good time to buy a dress. Dresses that are maybe more elaborate take longer, or showrooms that are busier take longer. Our showroom, it's a Pantora showroom itself, and so we're not relying on the timeline of a bunch of different designers, and just relying on ourselves. But depending on our schedule, it can take longer.
But you all are busy.
Yeah, we're pretty busy, and so it also depends on the dress, because some of the fabric has to get made. Lace can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 months to just make lace. Because you're not just at the mercy of yourself producing the dress, you're at the mercy of your production partners, who's beading, who's creating the lace, who's embroidering it. It takes
And where typically is the lace made? Where in the world is it made?
Everywhere. I don't discriminate. I literally will source whoever has the thing that I want. So I've purchased lace from everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, Asia, India, Europe. I get it from everywhere. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, given that you started at such a young age, do you have a part of your business that's helping to train people, or do you have any mentoring happening there so that young folks can join the forces?
Yeah, we have internships. It's really important that we bring people who actually want to learn this business on as interns. And that they're not just interning to fulfill like a checklist. Like they want to participate in what we do as a company, because our company culture is chef kiss. It's a really amazing company to work at. But we have mentorships. I often do career day. We generally do like somewhat of a career day tour. So whether I'm the one going and showing up, or someone who works at Pantora will go to school, we just want people to know about all of the jobs you can have in the fashion industry.
Sure.
And in the bridal industry, period. And so yeah, we're a wealth of information. We have schools come and visit our showroom, and we do tours there. We hosted several schools this year, and they'll bring their students. We had one school fly down their students, and we did a showroom and studio tour. And we own our building in Brooklyn, and so we do a full headquarters tour with them.
In terms of a bride coming to the showroom, the experience, I'm curious about that, because in the past, there would be very few sizes, so it would be difficult. What's the range of sizes that you have for brides to try on, and just what's her experience when she comes in?
The average woman in the United States is a size 12, 14. The average size of our samples are a size 16. Generally speaking, when you go bridal shopping, there's one size per style of dress.
Right.
Some of our dresses we have in multiple sizes, some of them we don't, but the average size is a 16. Our zippers extend really far down so we can get as many people to try them on as possible. And we don't tell people they can't try them on. We avoid that at all costs. If we have to open the back of a dress, that's what we'll do. Our dresses go from a size 0 to 44. That's our size chart. Our samples range from a size 10 to 40. We have some samples, of course, over and some samples lower, but the majority of them are between a 10 and 40. Most of them are around a 16 to 28.
Wow. So people really feel seen when they come into your showroom.
I hope
and
so.
respected.
Yeah, I hope so. A lot of consideration goes into who we're serving. A lot of consideration goes into how people are feeling. We already know what kind of time, people can have when trying on wedding dresses, and we want to make sure that their experience isn't tainted before they even get to buying the dress. We've had people walk in and they're just like, I don't expect to be able to try on a dress, but can I look at them? And we're like, hold on, what are you talking about? That's
You
not what
will be able to try.
Yeah, like we're gonna try on dresses, and not only are you gonna try on a dress, you're going to fall in love. And we really make an effort to create an experience where they're not just falling in love with the dress, but they're also falling in love with us.
That's nice. Do you do any of the wedding party, or is it just the bride?
Oh, so I love this question, because once upon a time I swore I would never do bridesmaids dresses, and I lie. So we have a bridesmaids line. It's called Pantora Maids, and I love that collection just as much because we have over 42 colors in our dresses, and our sizes go from size 0 to 44 as well. We have dozens of styles, and every single style comes in every single color. Every single style comes in every single color. And depending on when this is airing, you're going to find out something really special, because we're going to launch separate soon. And you'll be able to kind of build or bear your dresses.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because one of the things that is happening today, and I told you I made Jumping the Broom many years ago. I'm making it again now. And so we're looking to see what's different today. Well, one of the things that's different is that there are now couples in the LGBTQ plus community. And so, which makes more interest for suiting and, more structured clothing. And some designers and bridal salons are responding to that. So not just for the bridesmaids, but just for more variety in what the looks could be. Do you have that in your line? More suiting type things as options?
Maybe just a few, not a ton, because I'm not a tailor per se. But we do refer to people who do it best. We always say, like, what's in our cup stays in our cup. What's not in our cup, we are happy to hand it over to those who can facilitate it the best. And we work with Fidu. He's a suiting company, Shop Fidu, and they do amazing tailoring. And so we often,
where are they from, Fidu?
They're actually located in New York. The owner, Ilbert, is from Honduras, and he's amazing. He's talented. He's gracious. He's kind. He's just really good at what he does. Yeah.
Wonderful. And so back to the bridesmaids, because, it's actually, it used to be that there were tons of bridesmaids dresses in the bridal houses, and that went away. So you're kind of bringing it back.
Well, we don't sell the dresses in store.
But you can order it from in-store, is that right? Which is helpful. And what's the timeline for them?
So you can order them rush, and that's 10 to 12 weeks, and standard is about 14 weeks.
Okay. I'm sure that's very helpful, because now it's a bit of a challenge for bridesmaids to have uniformity anyhow.
Yeah, and uniformity happens in different ways, because I think once upon a time, like, you just wore the dress that the bride chose for you, and we wanted to do something a little bit different. We wanted the bride to be able to decide that she wanted a uniform look, but also allow for her bridesmaids to feel some kind of comfort. And when I say comfort, I don't necessarily mean the comfort of like wearing something that you would wear around the house, but the type of comfort where the outfit felt like it was for you. It was for you and you chose it, not it was for you because someone else chose it. And there's a different level of comfort that goes with how you feel about yourself when you're wearing something you're happy with.
Yeah. And by the way, I remember being mortified by the bridesmaids dresses I had to wear back in the day when my girlfriends were getting married, because everybody has a different body shape.
Yeah.
And the dress that's going to look good on me is not necessarily looking good on the person who is like 6 inches shorter than me and a
Right.
different size. And
And the
so
thing is, you determine what looks good on you, not someone else. And I think that like that goes for bridesmaids and brides alike. Like I get to determine what looks good on me. I don't need to rely on everyone else to tell me I look great, because the bride is going to say that you look great in whatever she wants you to wear.
that's true.
So it's really important. Like we have so many styles because we really want people to go, you know what? This is the one that suits me the best.
So who do you recommend to join the bride for these fittings? Because sometimes if you have too many voices, it can be confusing. Who is helpful in that room when she's trying on, and what is your recommendation?
Oh, keyword is helpful. Who's helpful in your life? Who makes you feel good? Who uplifts you? Who offers you really positive and constructive feedback? Feedback, not criticism. Feedback. Feedback is really, really important because you don't want to feel critiqued. Who allows you to speak first when you're determining how you feel about yourself? Like these are really key indicators about the type of people who you should bring with you to your appointment, because it's really important that the bride speaks about how she feels before anyone interjects. Unless you're saying she's beautiful, unless you're nothing should come out of your mouth. the bride.
We have plenty of opinionated people in our world, including mom.
Oh, including mothers. And mothers can be interesting, right? Because everybody doesn't necessarily have the same relationship with their mothers, and some mothers are invited because the bride feels like they have to be there, and some mothers are invited because the bride genuinely wants their mother there. And I think that that's interesting, because that's also a part of Pantora, is that we understood the cultural dynamics. We understood how that could look, and appeasing the moms in some capacity. Like we understood what we were doing at each appointment. But at the end of the day, we pull a bride to the side. We'll talk to her in the dressing room and go, listen, anybody who you need to leave, we will have them out of here. Or anybody, if you want to come back by yourself, we can host a solo appointment. Whatever it is that you need to feel comfortable, we got you. We understand that like a bride can't tell her friend she has to go. We understand that. And while it's jokes and we won't necessarily kick someone out, we definitely will invite the bride to come back independently, because we've experienced a bride not feeling heard, or a bride falling in love with a dress that everyone else didn't feel like it was for her, or whispers about her body type, or someone saying she couldn't pull something off, or someone wanting their vision to be fulfilled in their sister. And we experience it all. But at the end of the day, the bride is the priority, and so we ensure that we're listening to her and no one else.
So typically, how many appointments are there before a dress is selected?
Oh, we normally try to nail it on the first shot.
Yeah. And that usually happens?
Yeah.
So how long are they with you? How many dresses are they trying on?
Oh, we don't have a limit on the amount of dresses they can try on, but we do have a time limit. So the appointments are about 90 minutes. And, the first portion of the appointment, we're getting to know you. The middle portion, we're having you try on dress. In the last couple minutes, we're doing the closing of the sale. And, at that point, we know whether a bride wants to buy a dress, wants to come back. We have an idea of what's happening towards the later portion of the appointment. And, sometimes they really do need to come back. We're not pressuring anyone to buy a dress. Like our closing strategy doesn't include pressure. It includes being realistic about the timeline that it's going to take, whether you really found the dress. We're in a very different era, so a lot of people shop for content. They're doing content shopping and letting people vote on the dress that they should wear. We're in interesting times.
Really?
Oh yes, we see it all the time.
You allow all of that?
You know what? They're gonna do it anyway.
You might as well
let them have a good time. I never wanted to stop people from having a good time. I want people to feel really fondly about their experience at our store and the environment that we create for them. And so like when you realize that you can't beat them, at some point you got to join them, right? Yeah, as long as they're being really respectful of our space and the other brides who are there, we welcome it. And sometimes it's really, really fun. Sometimes it can be frustrating because you're not always sure who's a serious shopper or not. But
Yeah.
you know what? Life's short. Let's have a good time.
Do you ever find grooms coming in with the brides?
Yeah, yeah.
What is that experience like?
Sometimes we normally kick them out unless the bride is like insisting. We normally invite them to go have a cup of coffee down the block. Yeah.
So she can have her moment.
Yeah. Or and if we're not at capacity, we'll maybe find them a room to go hang out in, but no, they cannot stay on the showroom floor.
Hey guys, this is Dream Leapers with Harriette Cole. We just have a few minutes left, but we're having so much fun with Andrea Pitter of Pantora Bridal. She really has figured out a way to honor women of color, Black women in the bridal experience of every size and color and shape. And, we just celebrate you for doing that. That is a beautiful thing. So as we look into 2026, what's on your agenda? You are clearly organized, focused, a visionary. What's the vision for Pantora Bridal?
I'm so excited about some of the things that we have in store. We're opening our store in Baltimore. And
where will it be in Baltimore?
In Fells Point.
Oh, which is a really hot neighborhood right now. I'm from Baltimore.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited because what Baltimore reminds me of is Brooklyn in some capacity. Like it really reminds me of that. And like I have always wanted to make sure that people around me are inspired by the work that we do. And I always think about the neighborhoods that I'm moving into and who's in those neighborhoods, what they see on a regular basis, and what I want them to see on a regular basis. And I'm really excited about our Baltimore location.
Excellent. What else? I know there's more.
Oh, bridesmaids. I have so much in store for bridesmaids at Pantora. Like I'm really, really excited about all of the new styles that we're bringing out. And we're bringing some bling into the bridesmaids equation. I'm excited about that. Oh, we're doing some renovations in our New York store, and that's really, really exciting. You all are gonna have to wait and see because I know people are really excited about our Baltimore store, but they don't realize that I have something in store for New York. We can't ever leave New York out of the equation.
And when does Baltimore open?
Hopefully, hopefully it opens in December.
Oh, so right now.
I'm hoping. I'm very hopeful.
So and understanding that construction and opening can be painful. The birth of anything can be painful, right?
Absolutely.
How many brides would you say that you service every year?
A couple hundred.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your team, it like on staff regularly? How big is it?
Anywhere between 12 and 18 people generally.
Right. And then you have your people around the world who are contractors, right?
Right. Yeah.
How often are you on the road looking for fabrics, looking for, inspiration?
A couple times a year. I travel throughout the world, wherever the world takes me. I'm on a plane often enough, going places, and that also doesn't just include like sourcing. Sometimes that includes visiting our retailers that carry our dresses and understanding their needs and how they're operating in their stores. And yeah, so I'm here, there, and here.
That's a good point because even as you have your own store, your clothing is sold in other stores around the country.
Right.
So those are different sales reps who are doing that work. That's amazing.
Yeah, no,
and is yours a family business? Is your husband in business with you?
Yes, my husband, he works for Pantora.
Wonderful. Where did the name Pantora come from?
So when I was 13 and I wanted to go to this school, they told us we needed to create a portfolio. And I said, I'd create a brand. And so P is for Pitter, N is for Andrea, and Tora is my middle name.
I love it. You've had that vision for a long time. Well, thank you for sharing it with us. Congratulations on all that you've done. There is quite a buzz all over about you. So I think all that social that those ladies are doing when they come into the store is paying off because all kinds of people are aware of your work. People who are in the traditional bridal market, but really much broader than that, which is a testament to how inclusive you are and how much you love your brides.
Thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing the Baltimore store. Can't wait.
I can't wait. I'll invite you to the party.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
And thank you to all of you for tuning in. Wasn't that exciting? We're going to have some pictures of some of the dresses, so you'll get to see all of that. And you can go to pantorasbridal.com to see more. Until next time, have a great day and make it count.